this is Nancy Gamso, and the video we'll be exploring today will be using audio slow motion with my play-along tracks. So this will be the first of two videos, the first one for flute, the second one for clarinet, dealing with efficient technique practicing. Much of our practice is spent working out technical passages, and there are techniques that professional musicians use all of the time that you as a student can use as well. So first of all, remember that when we're practicing technique, we can break it into manageable parts. We can use long, short rhythms and harmonic rhythms to reorganize a passage. And we'll also be exploring in this video how to use the audio slow motion technology as a practice aid. So today we'll be working with the second flute part for the finale movement of Haydn's Minuet Trio and Finale. So let's look at the piece of music and let's focus on the section from C to the da capo. And this is the most problematic area, especially the 4 bars at letter D. Yeah. So here's the music. See that? Okay, so here's letter C, and here's letter D. All right. Okay, so the problem with this is that there is a lot of jumps. It's very fast, and especially right in here, it's a little difficult. So what we're going to be doing first of all is noticing that if we practice this playing slowly, we can isolate the problem, first of all. So if we played, for instance, this passage, One way that I would do it, what I would isolate, is to take out the top notes here and just play the bottom notes. Now you might notice that the harmonic rhythm for these 4 bars is a little different, and I've bracketed them. It seems that the chord feels like at least one phrase here, one chord here, one chord here, one chord here. So the harmony changes fairly rapidly, and then the harmony here stays fairly stable for 2 bars. Let me play on so you can hear how that changes. So you can hear how there's a real definite feeling of 1 bar phrases and then 2 bar phrases here. So with that in mind, we can reorganize the passage by just emphasizing the first note of each bar here and then the moving lines here. And what I'll do is emphasize that when I practice. So I'm always preparing for these long notes and then putting it all together with the slow motion technology. Right. So let's look at that. Remember our friend, the amazing slow downer from an earlier video? Well, we're going to be using that with this passage. So just isolating this passage, I've found that at 102 and at 112, this 4 bar phrase happens. So I think what I'll do first of all is just to get an idea of the big picture. I'll start at 102. So I'll set up my starting point a little before 102 so I can have a lead in. And then I'll set up we'll stop it when it's ready to stop. And I've set the speed, this is important, is to set the speed at a slower tempo than your performance tempo. So I'm going for 75%. Now the tone of the flute will be a little strange because of the change in speed. It affects the vibrato, but the pitch stays the same. So we'll see how this works. So this is right at that section at D. All right, here we go. By the way. All right, so what we can do now is even further isolate those 4 measures and just put it on a loop. And what I think I'll do is I'll just practice the isolated notes. So I can really be solid on those. And I can toggle back and forth between playing all the notes and playing some of the notes. I could even do some rhythms. And play with that as well. So one way to use the Amazing Slowdowner and my tracks is to use it for a slow motion practice. So that's 75%. We could certainly speed it up to 85 or anywhere in between. So we could use it with different rhythms and loop it back around and practice that. And then I would also suggest then putting it all together, going back and doing the whole middle section from C to the da capo, and see what happens with that. And noticing the harmonic change, noticing whether practicing with those long, short rhythms has helped iron out some of these difficulties. So to summarize, the idea of efficient technical practice is to break technically challenging parts into more manageable parts, and you can work through them in a variety of ways, using long, short rhythms, using the harmonic rhythm that underlies the line, and using audio slow motion technology as a practice tool. Thanks so much.